Harmonica time. Let's get going on that. Let me go post the link over on the website. Our website is mammothgardens.com, and it will be obvious what you're supposed to do when you get to the front page of that. Let me post the link here. That has our daily schedule and our sheet music on there. Going to be having some significant changes to our schedule going forward, so I'm going to be reminding people of that today. This class will move to later in the day, and it will become a class where we get everybody together. And so we're going to have harmonica, ukulele, and guitar all going at the same time. Should be kind of entertaining. Mostly it will become a daily class just for playing. And one of the things I'm very poor at is letting people just play. And I always figure we got to straighten everybody out, but we don't. / mammothgardens.com. Clink. And let me add a little photo on here. It is the most bizarre thing that happens on YouTube. Is it pulls up whatever cover sheet I put on each and every day for all the other classes except for this one, which for this class it pulls up the first photo on the website, and I don't know what the difference is. All of them are built the same way by the same guy. Alright, so there's that. Let's see, I have a notification. What's that about? It says, a friend said she liked something. All right, missed her yesterday. All right, so we're ready to roll. Today is When the Saints Go Marching In. Morning is Broken, On Top of Spaghetti. On Top of Spaghetti, love it. Scarborough Fair, and Smile. So we have all good songs, especially On Top of Spaghetti. Let's grab When the Saints Go Marching In, and then let's find out how many saints have marched in here. And W. All right, When the Saints Go Marching In, Diatonic. All right, When the Saints Go Marching In, Diatonic. All right, let's see here. Close this up. Sandy made it in. Well, what does that mean, Sandy? Well, sound is good. 72, sunny up here in the Yoop. Well, what does that mean, Sandy? Well, usually that's not a good sign. That usually means I'm about to get straightened out on something. So good to have you, Sandy. Glad you get 72 degrees and sunny. Sounds nice up there, right? You're warmer. Well, I think that's about what we're going to be today, too. Marsh is in. Got my thumbs up in already, right? Thumbs up on right down there on the video. And Diane is finally here, busy this morning. Time to relax and just play some music. So, heck yeah. Yeah, and guys, as we we'll talk about it a little bit more after we get everybody settled in and we play a little bit. But before we get at the end of the day, my vision of what we're going to be doing is starting to come together. I'm starting to look at places I haven't thought clearly enough about other stuff and all that. But I do know with summer coming that you guys are going to have gardens to tend and errands to run, and you're going to be getting out in society again and all of that stuff. And it's going to be easier for most people to not have this midday break for music. Not everybody, of course, and so some of you will end up having to look at the archives. But for most of us, an hour right before dinner, so I should be fine in California and Western time and Central time. Those of you in the middle time zone, Central time zone, what did I say? Mountain and Western time zone should be fine. Pacific time zone should be fine. Those of you in the Eastern time zone and in the Central time zone, this is going to get right into your dinner hour a little bit, and that may or may not be convenient at all. And so you'll have to think about whether that continues. Just have dinner later, right? When I logged in, it said offline. Oh. I wonder what said offline. Oh, that's terrible. It's interesting how we just get so dependent on technology, and all of a sudden when it doesn't work, you're like, I have never thought about what that means. Every now and then we'll have that. You guys know where from time to time the sound just is bad, and you're like, oh God, what did I do? How do I fix this? And you're just like, ugh, you get dependent on it and you don't know what to do. All right, Thursday, we always start with When the Saints Go Marching In. Let's give it a shot. 4-beat count in, 1-beat rest. Let's play it 2 times through. And let's play it with joy and vigor. You're going to blow 4 to get it started. And again, another beginner-friendly tune and a great way to warm your harmonica up. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, rest. Measure 13, run 2, 3, 4, rest. Nice. I'm always a joy to play that song. I don't know what it is about that song. There's no words really to it. It's a crazy When the Sun Refused to Shine. And what's the other one? And I'm going to sing, right? So there's hardly any lyrics to it. It's just fun to play. All right, When the Saints Go Marching In. Let's see, who else? Oh, Fran is in. Good morning, Fran. Good to see you. Let's look at. I put on new security onto this website, and now I'm getting all these crazy notes. Like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing what I do every day. Morning is broken. That's what we're up to. Yeah, I've been having crazy amounts of cyber attacks coming at me, and I don't want to be that New York pipeline that got shut down. So I'm adding in all these firewalls and login limits and CAPTCHA and all that stuff that you have to do these days. And now my website is becoming increasingly intolerant of me doing anything. All right, Morning is Broken. Most of you guys know this from Cat Stevens, and if you don't know it, it's a great song, right? But the melody itself is a 19th century melody, almost certainly, and the words we use was a poem written later. And I think Cat Stevens actually ended up getting into trouble for using this he was thinking it was a public domain song, and it wasn't. So if I remember right, he had to go to court. Let's do a 3-beat count in. Let's play blow 4, and let's play it 2 times through, and not fast, right? Really, really pleasantly slow. 1, 2, 3. little C chord at the end. Remember, just opening your mouth up and blowing through any set of holes will get you that C chord. And of course, with various places along your harmonica, you get more or less pleasant inversions of that C chord. So if you can cover all four holes, you get the low C and the high C. But if you were to do that and start on an E, for example, it might not be quite as pleasant. Or if you did like 3 and 7, you would end up with kind of a weird arrangement of a C chord. Doesn't sound quite as complete. So usually I just go for the low 4 holes. Again, nice, very stable C chord to wrap up. Basically all of our songs, not all of them on the Chromatic, but on Diatonic, all of them will be in the key of C. And so that's usually, especially on a soft, beautiful song like this, it sounds really pretty. If you do the high one, sounds almost magical, right? When we're playing melody, we don't necessarily love these top notes because they're so piercing, but when you toss them together as a group, you can end up with this kind of otherworldly feeling to it. Q reminds you, punch the thumbs up, all right? And Don made it in as well. Good morning, Don. All right, that's a beautiful song. That makes me happy. Every time we get to play that one, I love it. Now, On Top of Spaghetti. Let me give you a pep talk about On Top of Spaghetti. Your first thought is, that's a kid's song. That is not true. This is a moral song about it is a song of hope, a song of morality, that good things come from bad situations, that nothing makes things good or bad, but thinking makes it so. And that's a very stoic thought. Marcus Aurelius would have liked our approach to this song. You are taking a song here where a bad incident happens. Now, originally, as most of you guys know, those of you who are old timers like me, you will remember the song On Top of Old Smoky. Somebody just took those words, threw them away, and put on better words. And this is a way better version than On Top of Old Smoky. It's not that great of words. And by the way, anytime you hate a song, just change the words out and put your words in there, and you will then become passionately committed to that song for the rest of your life. This song, think about what happens. Here's a spaghetti. Somebody sneezes, rolls off the table, out the floor, around down the floor, out the table, down the street, under a bush, and it rains. Okay, so that's what's going on. Now, that seems like a very bad situation, but those of us who are stoics and we accept the fact that that's just a situation, we can determine whether it's a good situation or a bad situation based on our attitude toward the situation. That's what makes the difference. When we then look at that, and you think I'm being sarcastic and silly, I'm not. It actually makes sense, right? That just happened. That's not good or bad. Then the next thing that happens is that a tree grows up right there where that meatball died, and now you have a spaghetti tree, and it would be hard not to argue that that's a pretty good situation to have a spaghetti tree there in your front yard. The challenge, of course, would be now you've got to cut out the bush where the spaghetti tree is growing, so you lose the bush. Yeah, so that's iffy. Then all the neighborhood kids are coming over all the time to get their spaghetti, the spaghetti meatballs off of the tree. So then now you got traffic control issues. So you could argue that while it seems like the spaghetti tree is a good thing, there may be associated consequences with the spaghetti tree. So again, just a tree, just a situation. Our attitude makes that different. And then finally, I do believe that this song reaches the wrong conclusion. If you eat spaghetti all covered in cheese, hang on to your meatballs and don't ever sneeze. Well, the guy gets a spaghetti tree out of this, which I think we can generally assume is good. So you would actually not want to do that. You want somebody to sneeze and lose your spaghetti and meatballs. So you think about the deep philosophy behind this piece of music. and then it will no longer be a kid song. Okay. My one note on here, the last note in measure 4, I have it as -5. I think it sounds good. There has been discussion in the past about whether that note should be a -6, and that also sounds good. So what I have on the tablature is what is in the sheet music. Okay, in the standard notation line, it's an F, and that's -5. But we have had some discussion whether an A, also it should be an A, which would be a -6, and that works perfectly fine too. I'm going with what's in the tablature. That's what I will be playing, and then you can kind of figure out whatever makes sense for you. Q says, did you say once the draw-in notes from 6 above sound higher? Marilyn, you know, Q, I don't like to call you Marilyn. I like to call you Q. I think it's way cooler. The blow-in notes. So Q's question is, hey, when I blow, is that note lower than when I draw? And the answer is mostly yes, but not always yes. So a lot of times, most of them, when you blow a 4 is a good example. When you blow 4, then when you draw, it's going to be a higher note. But that's not always true. If I go to 7, is that right? When the draw is lower. So 4, 5, and 6, it's higher, but on 7, it's lower. And the reason they do that is to make sure that always, no matter what, when we're blowing either a C note, an E note, or a G note, always. And in order to make those go up, there's a moment when you need to have one note be the opposite of what the others are. And it does take a little getting used to. I don't lose a ton of sleep over it anymore. When I first picked up harmonica, it drove me crazy. I was like, well, why can't they? Like on Chromatic, that's not. Well, on Chromatic, that's not true. That's the same situation. So there are every once in a while there'll be a note that's the opposite of the others, and it's just part of something you have to just sort of get used to. I think the tablature should help you out for the most part. But there does come a day when you can just feel it. Like when you've been playing a little while, probably most of you guys have been there, right? You're on class 155. Some of you have been here for every one. You'll feel it. You start to draw, you're like, oh, that's not the right note, right? And then you make a little quick adjustment. And that happens to me all the time playing harmonica when I'm not using the tablature and I'm just trying to pick out a song and I'm blowing. I'm like, start to do an inhale and you're like, you get the very beginning of that note and you're like, oh, that's not the right one. And then you either slide up or down or blow in or out depending on what you're doing. And so, yeah, so it's not all or nothing Q, where it's either some of them are the way you're talking about and others are not. Mostly the blow will be lower than the draw, but I wouldn't depend on that at all. It's just mostly, I'd say 80% of the notes are that way. All right, On Top of Spaghetti, let's play it a few times through. It's only it's a little shorty song, and at some point we'll get sick of it, right? Good morning, Connie. Connie's just here. She just missed my whole discussion about why On Top of Spaghetti is not a kid song. It's a song written, is it Polonius, I think, that says nothing is either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I think that's Polonius from Hamlet, if I remember right. The entire thing about and the entire message behind Hamlet is nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. All right, from the top, 2-beat count in. Blow 4. I got it set up at a pretty high speed, but I don't want to play it that fast. So I'll give you a basic speed, and then we'll try to hang on to it. We'll play it through a few times. I'll let you know when we're sick of it. Okay, from the top. 1, 2. last time. I probably shouldn't have just stopped this. I shouldn't have cut a couple of verses out. Things were going perfectly, and then I says, "All right, last time through," and then my brain lost its mind. So there you go. Tomorrow we'll probably play the whole thing, right? So just keep that on the top of your list. That's a fun piece of music. I love that. All right, On Top of Spaghetti. Not a kid song. All right, Diatonic people, you are good for today. If you only have a C harmonica, buy a G harmonica and also buy a chromatic harmonica. Guys, I have not had a chance to check out my Swan 1040. I do know some of you are challenged with some weirdnesses on those, and I am hopefully going to have time this weekend to tear mine apart to find out why in the world your eights and nines, or some of you have eights and nines that are different, and some of you don't, and they should be the same, I believe. I can't imagine why in the world that eights and nines wouldn't be the same. So I'll dig into that a little bit. If you have not purchased a chromatic yet, so far I've had really good luck with this 12-hole Forerunner. It's about $55, I think, ish dollars that it cost me, and they're getting pretty good reviews overall. It's definitely not as good as my professional model, but I think for $56, it's the deal of the century. Before those of you who are Diatonic only run off, do make note that starting not next week, but the week after, May 24th, we're going to move this to our summertime slot, and so we will be moving it from this, what is my 11 a.m. hour, to my 5 p.m. hour, and so we will be taking that daytime class out of your daily routine and moving it to the... Also, I will be doing a lot of recruiting with guitar players and ukulele players to come join us. So it's really going to end up being an ensemble class, which means when we play music, sometimes I'll play harmonica, sometimes I'll play ukulele, sometimes I'll play guitar. And so you get a chance to hear your harmonica being played up against other instruments and give you a chance to play with chord playing. And the one thing that I know about music is, and I'm usually at a deficit here, I can play, I don't have a problem playing, but when I get with other people, getting that timing right is really quite challenging for me, and I think that's what's going to make your next level skills much higher. And so by playing in an ensemble situation where we have all three of the instruments that I know how to play all playing simultaneously, at your house you'll have an opportunity to hear different things going on, and I think it'll make it really nice, another way to just kind of keep pushing your skill set forward. At this point, I have no doubt all of you guys are pretty good harmonica players. And so there's that. So so next week's the normal, just like this, and then the week after that, then things will change somewhat dramatically. Should be fun. Marsh is right. I think it'll be fun, be interesting. It may blow up in my face, and we may have to make some other changes, but I think it should be fun, and hopefully it won't mess up your dinner time hour too much. Q asks, what's the difference why to buy a G harmonica and a chromatic harmonica? Also, what brand again? So Q, on the front page of the website, if you go, where you get the daily schedule, just scroll all the way down the bottom, and it gives you some recommendations for harmonicas. The G harmonica sounds lower, so on these songs that go real high, you'll get a lower overall sound. They sound really nice. I love playing my G harmonica. We don't teach them in class because the music theory gets a little weird when you leave the key of C. And then of course chromatic harmonica can play everything, and so that's, you definitely want to own a chromatic. I think a long term, I'd say if you had to choose one or the other for this type of play where we're always playing melodies, this is going to be a more powerful instrument than a diatonic. So that's what would be my suggestions there. And Diane says, glad you did not choose the 6 o'clock as it interferes with Jeopardy. Right? I'm aware of the passion that we all approach Jeopardy. I have purposely in my life chosen not to watch that because I would be the guy that just becomes obsessed with it, and I'd have my own score chart and I'd do all of this stuff. Yeah, I have, but I get it. I do get it. I'm a daily crossword puzzle guy. Love them, but so I get the passion for Jeopardy. And I know, well, in other time slots we'll be competing against that. And if we do, right, that's the archive. That's what the archives are for. You can't be in the chat room when you do the archives. Also, I don't know if some of you may know this, you can actually record television shows now. I don't know if you heard about that, but yeah, you can press record, and then yeah, you would come to harmonica class. Let's see. Let's go play Scarborough Fair on Chromatic. Yes. Scarborough Fair. All right. Remember, guys, measure 13 has 4 beats in it. That will mess you up if you rush that measure. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward, and minimal button pushing. I can't remember. I think there's one place where we push a button. I don't remember where it's at. Maybe not. Do we not push the button at all? Oh yeah, we do. Measure 7. All right. Let's give it a try. 3 beat count in. Draw 3. We'll play it 2 times through, and see how it goes. 1, 2, 3. To the top. I jumped into -7, which was a dumb decision. I should have played the -3 and then jumped to -7. I thought, oh, I'll just do an extra octave right now. It'll be cool. It wasn't that cool. Not a good idea. All right, so there's Scarborough Fair. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that a nice thing? My nose is... I'm going to have to go take an allergy pill, guys. So let's get through the next song. And then I think the interesting thing about... harmonica is how physically demanding it is, and all of a sudden stuff that you have not dealt with in the past, you're like, oh, my nose is running, well, no big deal, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, I'm playing harmonica, it's a very big deal. So all right. I will take an allergy pill after this class. yeah, your nose gets stuck and then you have a hard time breathing. All right, let's play Smile. This is one of our favorites on Chromatic. Q, I would look at on Amazon. It's called East Top Forerunner. I'll definitely look at that one. If you haven't bought your Chromatic, the one with the button yet, this is definitely inexpensive. Been really reliable. Holes 8 and 9 have the same tone in them, and it does have 12 holes. So I think if I remember right, it's $56 some on the website on Amazon. So that would be. So far, I'm loving this little guy. Definitely not the same quality as the Hohner Chromatica that I have. Chromatica. Don and I both have the same harmonica. It's a much better harmonica, but it's $170, right? And so I want you guys to be able to get in and enjoy doing this without dropping the bank on it. All right, Smile 2 times through. And remember on this one, remember in the last song we had a 4-beat measure all by itself. In this one, measure 14 is a 2-beat measure. So we have one measure here that's only got 2 beats in it. And so just pay attention as you're reading through the sheet music. When you get to 13, you'll notice that the meter changes up there. At the end of 13, it says 2-4. And so you do 2 beats. And then at the end of 14, you say, oh, now we'll go back to 4-4. And so the meter changes right there at the end of 13. And let's see. Charlie Chaplin wrote this music. He did not write the lyrics. The lyrics are hilarious when you think about it. It says smile. It's about, you think, oh, that'll be a nice song. And then it's about pretending to be happy when you're sad. And so the words are quite different than what the title says. And of course, you know, the melody of this is actually quite pensive as well. So we'll take it at a nice leisurely pace and see if we can't get it as pretty as possible. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. All right, guys. That's I think honestly, if you think about it, you had Morning is Broken, On Top of Spaghetti, Scarborough Fair, and Smile. And it'd be hard to put a four measure, and When the Saints Go Marching In. It'd be hard to put a 5-song set together. That's much better than that one. That's a good set. That's a good group of songs. Guys, you have 18 minutes left just to play on your own. Take advantage of that time, right? Tell your family, it's an hour-long class. He always keeps us until the very last minute. I gotta be back, and then just play, right? Because they don't want to hear your harmonica play, and you're in the back room or in the basement, and just do that. Tomorrow we have our full concert, a lot of songs. You Are My Sunshine, Love Me Tender, Mr. Bojangles, Moon River, Morning is Broken, On Top of Spaghetti, Leaving on a Jet Plane, Minstrel Boy, Over the Rainbow, Scarborough Fair, and Smile. So we have a ton of really solid music tomorrow to play. Again, we'll have one more week just like this week. It'll be a full 5-day week next week, and then we will be switching to the 5 p.m. hour Mountain Time. So look at your calendars and your clocks and your schedules and see what needs to move around to be able to play with us. And obviously, if that doesn't work out, then we do have the archives, and so you would come in and play on your own, and which is not as much fun. I really like having you guys. I like doing it live, but obviously sometimes you can't. And then yeah, so that's the plan. I don't think I had anything else to add to that. The only difference will be, you know how tomorrow we have our Friday concert and we have a whole lot of songs we're going to play. That's going to be more like what every day feels like. We'll probably have half a dozen songs, and we'll play through those half a dozen songs, and then we'll go about our day. And so it'll be a lot less me and a lot more you, and you'll know on one day what the next day's songs are, so that you can those songs that you need to practice, you can. So there we go. Oh, Valerie made it in. Hey Valerie, good to see you. Yeah, Q says Forerunner. So it's called a East Top Forerunner. And again, Q, if you'll go to the front page of the website, go all the way down to the bottom and click on the Forerunner link, it'll open right up, and then you'll have it. And Don says, my cat doesn't want to hear me play. Well, Don, you're our only professional in the group, right? You knocked out Danny Boy over there at the senior living place, and so as far as I know, you're the only one who's a professional harmonica player. So that's exciting. My cat has learned a little bit to tolerate this harmonica. Not a huge fan, but yeah. These our poor animals are like, I don't know what they're doing, but it sounds really loud. So yeah, my cat's not a huge fan of music either. He'll come in. He's learned to tolerate it, but I'm not really a fan. So all right, guys, have a wonderful day. Make sure you're getting your vaccine. Make sure you're being safe even after you've got your vaccine. Practice, right? You got to every single day. That's going to make your lungs strong and make this where this is just something you do, and hopefully brings you some joy every day. Keep showing up here. I think that's going to be the difference between being pretty good at harmonica and being great at harmonica, is where you're playing with other people, and responding to when I make a note too long or too short, that you're adapting. If you haven't subscribed to the website, maybe make some sense, right? If you're logged into Google or into YouTube, you can subscribe on the channel, and then it just magically turns on live when it's time. And hit the thumbs up button if you don't mind. And that's it. That's what I know. By the way, harmonica will always be free. I have made that decision. This is something that I will never ever have a pay channel for. So we're just going to continue to do this, hopefully forever. We're going to end up with 50,000 songs. I want to make my mark these days in chromatic harmonica. I think that's the next instrument that we got to get popular. And so please know that I want you to spend your money on getting better harmonicas and not on these lessons or not any of that. So at some point, if I ever meet you and I'm ever wandering through Loveland, I'm going to go knock on Don's door. I'm going to say, Don, what do you got to eat? And he's going to say, come on in, Gary. I'll bake you a steak. Don't bake me a steak. I don't know about that. So that's it. So just know we're going to keep this going. We're going to keep it free. And we're going to keep having fun. Hopefully. All right. My boxer still hates the harmonica. Any hole above number 5. Isn't that interesting? It probably starts to get to a point where his ear is like, oh, that's really loud, really high pitched. And so, yeah, that's fascinating, Fran. I didn't know that was happening. All right, you guys. I'm going to sneak out. Have a wonderful day. Keep playing that harmonica. It's good for you, and it's going to be good for the world. I'm pretty sure. I think. I hope. Peace.